Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to announce my co host and bring to you entertainment to the Nicky Nicole show with Jerry Staar. Jerry Staar is real big on TikTok, and you should follow Jerry Staar. And every show, entertainment with Jerry Staar. Jerry, what is the scoop, girl? Tell us all
Hi.
about it.
Well, first, thank you for having me here. I'm really excited to be here. This is my second podcast,
Okay.
so I'm actually glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming. And I couldn't expect anyone else but you. I really had a dream about you being on it. So
Yeah, you tell me about it.
thank you. Thank you so
that
much.
would that would make me even more excited to be here. You know.
It's an honor to have you. So spill the beans, give us the juice. What's going on in the entertainment world?
Well, currently, as you know, I just signed the contract with the same agency you have with Icon Studios.
Mhm.
And I got accepted for a drama show. I'm the for the lead show. I'm playing a transgender woman,
Okay.
and at first I was kind of like thinking about it. Should I do it? Should I not? Because I didn't want people to be like, "Oh, you're not trans. Usually, trans people to actually have the opportunity." But I had someone told me, give me advice, told me it's almost the same thing as Selena, the movie. Like the actor, she's Puerto Rican, and the real person is Mexican. So it's
Right.
almost a similar thing.
J Lo.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so I guess I'm just going for it and see where life takes me right now.
Well, I think that they chose you. You were picked for a reason. Go make the best out of it. It can only help your career.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's also a break from like my own thing. I've always done my own thing as like social media wise and um me trying to find bookings and this and that. Now I feel more like relaxed and more like less stressed about it. You know,
Hmm.
um, there is some drama going on right now with Grupo Firme. I don't know if you who that is.
No, tell us.
So Grupo Firme, they're a really known Mexican sing group, like a band. They had me on their music video 2021, but they have not paid me. They never pay me. They paid.
Wait, they're like the number one right now. And
Yes.
they sold out of the
Mm-hmm.
Texas Stadium. Guys, like they're coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
And they
They did not
asked
pay me.
you to be on as a what?
To be in
Dancer?
the video, but
Okay.
that was like kind of before they went viral. So like around that time where I went, they were like known. They had the little platform, but they wasn't big as right now. So
So how long ago was this?
that was 2000, the beginning of 2021.
Okay. Okay, not too far.
Yeah, I
So
mean
during
21.
COVID,
Yeah, basically.
and they
Uh,
have not paid you.
nope. I've drove a whole hour to forward. They paid everybody else, even my friend who I took with me. They never pay me. It's only I know it's only 250, but I mean, it's my time. I went there. I drove my first time driving that
Mhm.
far by myself, just so I don't get paid. But so I am trying to do the suing process right now. I talked to a lawyer from Dallas, and since this is, I do have proof. That's all I need basically because it's basically not illegal.
Mhm.
But since I didn't sign the contract with them to be in the video, they told me they couldn't do nothing unless I showed some type of proof where they said they will pay me, and
Have you got a hold of their manager or anyone from
I've
their
texted
team?
I texted everything. The record they're with, the email they will email me when to tell me where it's gonna be at, all of that, and nothing to this day.
Wow, that's sad because I'm a huge fan of theirs.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. A
Wonder
lot of
if we
people
could
are
do
fans.
something. Hey, Grupo Firme, if you're listening, please pay
Pay my
Jerry
two
Star.
hundred fifty beach.
Yes.
Keep playing with me, beach. I want my fucking money, period.
All right. What else is going on, Jerry?
um, I'm well. Hopefully I passed the audition for Bad Boys Club. Have you heard of that show?
No.
It's a reality TV show. It's the number one right now. It includes fighting, like fighting, all that. But that's only if something happens with you and the cast members. But
Mm.
I auditioned for it. Zeus Network let me audition a little bit earlier than audition times. Thanks to one of the cast there that I'm cool with. They helped me out to put myself out there more. So if you bitch try me, you know what's up. Throwing some hands, you know. But yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what else is going on?
Sadly, well, I had my TikTok banned. Both of my TikToks got banned recently, so I just started a new TikTok. But it's going great. I mean, I'm shocked that in a week,
Because how many followers did you have when it got
my
banned?
first account, I had 979,000 followers.
Wow.
Thanks to that account, I got to be on Deadpool. I got to be on like extras for the show scene and like a bunch of music videos. You know, that's how I met Christy Lux also
Right.
through that. Um, but I keep losing it because of my talent. Like,
What does that mean?
so I have this video on there's this TikTok live that I do, and I just go like this at Bad Beach. I prank guys. So
Ah, okay.
I'm gonna have to show you the video later on. So
Yes.
basically, I just get on there. I random guys, and they talk to me. And I'll be like, "Hi, hey, daddy, how you doing, daddy?" And they just go along with it. And they be like, I'll be like, "You want to see my talent?" And they'll be like, "Sure, why not?" And this is the part why I got banned.
Okay.
So this is the part where I show them my talent. I just grab my hair, right? And I just go like that. Oh shit! Into the camera, and people love it because it's funny, you know. And I just be like, my first name is Throw, my last name is Goat. You can call me motherfucking Throw Goat, you know. And that was my show basically, my everyday show. I will go on there and do that same thing, break my neck doing that, but people loved it,
Yeah.
and that's why my account has been it revived again. You know, from having 0 views, it's getting to 80,000 views. You know,
And you just made that
yeah,
account,
I
right?
just made it. No. Obviously, the people
Wow.
that recognize me follow me. Oh my God, your new
You're
account.
back on. I know
Yeah.
because I tried to look for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right when I wanted to contact you and I couldn't,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh. And then I ran into Christy Lux because I had her too
Yeah.
at the Cinco de Mayo parade, and I was like, "Where's Jerry?" So I'm
Yeah.
glad they put you back on.
Instagram got deleted too, both of my Instagrams. So I'm basically kind of back on 0, but I still got my loyal supporters. You know, they find me, they follow me right away, they start blowing up my stuff, liking it, sharing it, everything. And yeah.
Good, good, good. So, what are your plans?
My plans is to basically get more into acting.
Okay.
I'm trying to get more into the acting. Focus more on my YouTube channel. Like I don't know if you know, I dropped my first single that I took
Music
serious.
video.
Yeah.
I did see that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Jerry. What? That's a bad beat.
I don't do music to be a singer. I do it for fun, for entertainment, and that was my first song that actually like I liked without autotune and all that.
So, did you write that?
Yeah, I did everything myself, and then actually I did it with my phone, like just
Really?
this phone
Good
right here.
quality.
I recorded, I edited here.
So, iPhone,
everything.
what
iPhone
iPhone?
13. I should
Okay.
definitely get an iPhone 13 if you want to make music.
There you
Maybe
go.
we want to like record music videos. This is really good too. You just gotta learn how to use the lighting, all that stuff. But it actually went on the radio, 97.9, and I actually got a video reaction. I'm actually a little bit. Um, I didn't know they were gonna post it. You know, I was there, and then I hear we're about to play Jerry Star Now or Never. I grab my phone right away. I say, "Beach, hold on." You say, "What?" I recorded, and then you can hear like where it ended the commercial and went straight to my song.
Wow.
I was in shock. I don't know why, how, or why, you know, because I mean, it's not on Spotify, it's not on SoundCloud, it's just on my YouTube channel, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
How amazing.
I was excited.
So, what did you do? Did you record yourself again
I
during the
mean,
time?
so I was in the car, so I just put it right there, and I was like listening to it, and then boom, it sound. I could hear my song playing, and but it was so weird because it was mixed in with the commercial, fading into my song.
So, I know you said you did it. What was it? Just playing around?
For
did-
fun,
it was for
just
fun.
for the content to entertain music videos, this and that.
Did you
know?
ever imagine that it was going to be on the radio?
No,
No.
That's the least of the thing I wanted to do. I just wanted to drop a video for them to like and watch it. That's it. But
Yeah.
people actually like the song a little bit.
Hmm.
It's not perfect, it's not professional, but it's it's
It's not
passable.
bad.
It's catchy.
Yeah, it is catchy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
congratulations to you.
It's basically about how I don't care about people, what to say about me, what to think about me. How I people are pulling me down, but I'm not gonna let that happen. And by that I mean it's like closer, like my family member. Um, I have a family member who doesn't support me, or doesn't realize that I'm not back then where I started doing videos. It's just 0 views, 2 views. Now it's like I've been on press. I'm on Google now, on Famous Birthday, on all these other pages where they talk about me, my age, my network, all of that.
Hmm.
And I met Chiqui Rivera last year in Dallas, in Dallas. A matter of fact, I'm waiting to do your makeup, girl. Quit lying with me. You, just because I have a new Instagram does not mean you don't have to ignore me and shit. You promised me to do your makeup, so I'm gonna do your makeup somehow, one way or another.
Okay, we're gonna inbox Cheeky.
Yeah, I mean, no. As a matter of fact, I have texted her, but I guess since I have a new Instagram, they don't look at it. Since ever since I lost my Instagram, when I lost it, I lost so many so-called friends that are in the same industry, which is why I have trust issues. I like, it's like when people want to collab with me, as in the same industry as me, like with the same label and same TikTok wise, everything. It's like I'm down, but you cannot turn fake on me. You cannot be two faced. You cannot just stop talking to me because you gain your amount of followers and you're done with me.
Right.
I collab with people who I know that they have my back. I have their back. They're not gonna cut me off just because one day I lost my platform. You know.
Yeah. Well, you certainly making a comeback. Let's everyone know that you're in it. You're
Yeah.
a force to be reckoned with.
Hmm.
So
I mean, after so many accounts being banned, I'm back. People still they see me on the For You page. They follow me right away because they recognize me. Not only that, Vid Chronicles is also one of the main things that helped me get recognized out here in Dallas.
mhm.
They follow me. They're like, "Aren't you from Vid Chronicles?" They'd be like Diego or Jordan, whatever. My
Yeah.
first time being recognized because of that was my first one was in Dallas. I was in the car. I was with my windows open. I'm just there smoking my fat ass blunt like this fat ass. Period. Next thing you know, I hear Diego in the background. I'm like, who the fuck keeps saying Diego? I turn around and there's two couples, and the girl was like, I know you. You're from Vid Chronicles. And I was like, oh, I just want I couldn't talk because I was already driving. I'm like, thank you, whatever. And that was one of my first motivations to keep doing what I love to do because we born alone and we die alone. Nobody comes with us. So if nobody supports you in what you're doing, all you need is to have yourself, to believe in yourself, and to fight for it. Because if you don't fight, you don't wake up and have a purpose in life. You're just living life, and you're gonna waste your life. You wanna have fun. You wanna go for it. Fight for what you want in life, and that's what I'm doing right now. Despite not having close family there for me, supporting me, but I will remind myself if they ain't here right now, they better not be when I'm successful and I made it. You know.
Well, numbers don't lie, right? They say everything else lies, but
Mhm.
numbers don't lie,
Yeah.
and your numbers show that you will become
Yeah.
successful. And clearly, what you have already achieved, even if it's just for fun, right? Like your
Mhm.
video,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it put you out there.
Yeah.
So you are living the dream.
Yeah. I mean, if I think about 4 years ago, from now, it's like wow, I never thought that I would actually get to those views, get that many platform. I just never thought I would even get to say 10K views. Never thought I would get to that point. Never, never. But I guess it just happened. It was time for me to come up now.
Hey, timing is not always on our timing,
Yeah.
right? But it's God's timing, and that's what matters. Sometimes we're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the time is not now, but it's preparing
Yeah.
us to get where that journey.
Yeah,
So
that's why
it's
I'm just
awesome.
being patient. I'm enjoying everything I'm doing. I'm helping out. my like the older community, like the TikTok community who's like just do dancing or like have a small platform. I'm always helping them out to give them ideas, because I was just like them too. I didn't have no ideas, I didn't have no connections, no help until like I did it myself, and now I want to be that person who's helping others out too.
Good for
You know what I
you.
mean? I want to be
We
that
don't
hand.
have that
Yeah.
enough in this entertainment. It's
Mhm.
always more competition more than
Competition
anything,
definitely.
or jealousy, or
Mhm.
I'm afraid to give you my connection. Let me tell you, and what I've learned in a short amount of time, and you can contest to this. When it's your time, it's your time. If
Mhm.
you have something, I say this a lot. I rather lose to a friend that I know than to someone else that I don't know. Because guess what? Your friends will take you along,
Yes.
They'll give you that platform when it's the right timing. Not all the time is the script right made for you, but that script will be done.
Do you know who's uh I'm gonna just say it, I don't give a fuck. Do you know who's from Texas Crew City? He's tatted everywhere, like he's good looking.
Is
He's a
the
rapper. He was also in Texas Crew City.
What's his character on there?
I forgot what his name character, but
What?
he was the one who they beat him up in the mansion. He had like all red outfit.
Yes, yes,
Okay, that's his
yes.
name. Okay.
Isn't his name?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. That's how I know him
yeah,
by.
I don't know if people know
Okay,
him like
cool.
that.
Okay,
I know him.
okay.
So, okay, so I'm gonna talk about his fake ass. So, I helped him. Gain followers on TikTok. I gave him ideas. He had no followers on TikTok. I'm talking about no views, no followers, nothing. And I met him up in the mall, and we did a couple of videos together. It became to a point where like, oh, we should do this, we should do that. Like I was willing to help him out and make content. Like funny content.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we posted videos. He got some views, and next thing you notice, he unfollowed me. He unfollowed me on the last day of Texas Coast City, the filming in the mansion. He unfollowed me, and
I was there that day. Yeah.
yep. And I was like, oh. So I texted him. I was like, so this is what we're doing now. We're unfollowing each other. Like, all right, one less fake ass friend for me. And but it's just crazy how like they do that. You help them out and they just turn fake on you. And despite the rumors, because there were some people making rumors about me and him, because I'm bisexual, he's straight. They think that because we're hanging out together, we're doing something together. So people will make rumors. Oh, they're both having intercourse, whatever, and that's not true. We were just making funny content.
Mm-hmm.
But that just it made us fade away. I don't know why he chose to unfriend me, but that's just fake as fuck. Like if there's something wrong, I feel like you should talk about it. Like so we can fix it. Cause I'm all about fixing shit, talking about it and fixing it. If I do something wrong, let me know. I can fix that and I'll apologize about it. You know what I mean? He didn't do that. He just gained his 50K
Just went
followers.
ghost.
Went ghost after his 15K followers that he gained.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to hit up Jerry Staar.
And I apologize to bad bitch right here. Period.
Well, we want to thank you once again, and we'll see you on the next show so you can talk more gossip with Jerry Staar. So, is there anything you want to say before we cut off?
No, just
Give us your social media.
my social medias are JERRYSTAAR. It's Jerry Star. No, bitch, it's not Jeffree Star. So I know y'all gonna be like Jeffree Star. No, no, no. It's Jerry Star. Okay, JERRYSTAAR. You know what I mean. But yeah, but thank you for having me. I really had fun.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. That's the scoop on the Nicky Nicole show with Jerry Staar. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce you to R. Bradley Morris, who is a producer and writer. And I will let him tell you his story. And thank you, Bradley, for being here today and agreeing to do this interview. I feel like this is an honor.
Well, I really appreciate it. It's actually really funny. Like, you had me following Jerry, and for some reason, every time I do these interviews, they always put me after someone such like is so much more sensational than I am. And I'm like, there I am, right after greatness. I'm like, how do I top that? So we'll see what I can do about that. So first and foremost, thank you for having me, Nikki. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you traveled from Waco. Is that
Waco,
correct?
Texas, W Town.
And you are well known in the DFW for your writing skills.
I have a little bit of a following in DFW. I've been involved in the DFW film community for about 5 years now, 5 or 6 years, I'd say. And have a lot of great friends and supporters out there. And actually had the privilege of meeting you on one of the films, which is what led me to this chair now.
Yeah, you inspire a lot of us, especially us upcoming actors and actresses. I gotta say that all of us on set, when we see you, we step up our game to please you, and that right there takes courage from all of us.
It's because I'm so intimidating and manly. That's really what you're saying. Um, Actually, truth is, in all direct honestness, that's actually part of the reason why I had returned into film. I took a 7-year sabbatical, just focused on primarily being a father. And I did miss film. And when I did come back into it, basically off a bet, I bet you can't write the screenplay in a month. And I did. And, here I am 5 years later back in the business.
And you own your own production
I
company.
do.
Can you elaborate on that and let us know?
I co-own a production company with a amazing partner. Her name is Rhonda Burnett. We've been working together now for since we came back into the business. I met her at an audition. She came to act, and literally, I'm to be harsh, I was kind of falling asleep during the audition. And then she came in. She was about an hour late, and she walked into the door. We were just wrapping up, and she walked in. She's like, "I want to audition," and then she knocked it out of the park and like woke me up, and we've been like close and best friends ever since then. And I couldn't ask for a better partner than her. She's creative and driven, and I like to surround myself with people who have that drive and tenacity, that get up and go every day. Somebody like yourself, that's why I like to consider us friends. Like you get up there, you inspire me. So, that's what I try to be more like, is people like that.
Thank you, Bradley. That coming from you just brings like overwhelm to my heart, because I'm really, really trying. And like I said, knowing you gives me big dreams, to even be this close to even knowing you. And then when you agreed to do the podcast, I was like, what? No way.
Well, the best I can, when I came back into film, my goal was to do things differently than I had done them in the past when I worked with other production companies when I first came in. I was a young dreamer, like so many other people out there. Anyone listening to this, if you're like a teenager and you want to do film or do theater, I want you to get out there, and I want you just to do it. I don't care what anyone else tells you. You need to get out there and try. I just finished the first draft of my novel, and I will tell you, anyone who sits down and writes a novel, you only can do it page by page. It's the exact same thing for accomplishing your dreams. Each day is a brand new page, and you need to write and work on that and build a little bit more each day, and you will get there. I had been told no a whole lot getting into it from even my home life. My dad was very closed-minded, and it wasn't real to him. No one can be a filmmaker. No one can be a writer. Truth be told, it wasn't manly enough to be in the arts. Like, I got criticized a lot for not playing football. And when I said I wanted to do theater, the truth is, I never got the chance to do theater, and it's probably my only regret I have in my life. Like, I never got the chance to be on stage, and I really think I would have been good at it. Yeah. And as I got older, I've come to the realization that I want to help other people. Aspire to be better and give them the support that I never got. And I'm not claiming that I know all the answers, because I don't. I'm learning right alongside of you. Mm-hmm. I think we all are. I think even the greatest people, even the greatest performers are still learning and picking up new things every day. But I will state that it's not very often I get thanked for stepping in and helping. But I will say that you and your crew have always reached out to me and thanked me for the time I put in and the time I dedicate and the travel. Coming from Waco to work on one of your sets is a 2-hour drive for me, and an all-day, all-weekend experience. And it's frustrating when there's no pay involved and you're just volunteering, and then you're seeing this accumulation of talent, like just so much like budding talent that could just be groomed. I think in the arts we don't have enough encouragement, and that's what I set out to do. Is I just want to make everyone a little bit better by believing in themselves. You know,
Well, you certainly are living up to that. And we thank you
I
on
appreciate
the
that.
behalf of what we consider ourselves, right? The family.
Oh yeah,
We certainly appreciate all the efforts that you put into us and seeing and recognizing us and also encouraging us with your words and wisdom.
absolutely, absolutely.
You know, when I think of greatness, I think of you.
Oh, stop it, you! You're gonna make me
No,
blush.
and I truly mean that. I truly mean that, and that's why when I speak of you to others and to call you a friend is even like, oh, I know him. I know Bradley.
I've actually gotten a lot of those messages of people saying that to me. They're like, "Hey, I heard you did this. Hey, I heard you did that. Thank you for
Hmm.
helping my friend." And it is rewarding. I mean, it is definitely rewarding. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a slew of debacle that comes with it. You know, I think I've been cussed out multiple times for giving the exact same harsh criticisms that I have you guys, like even yourself. I've been blunt and to the point about what you can improve on, but I also make sure to say what you did right. I will never go, you're just not very good and you suck. You're never going to be anything. I will tell you, why don't you try this? Hey, have you tried doing this? What you need to do is maybe look in the mirror and rehearse your lines a little bit. What's your
Right.
face saying in this scene? The camera's right there on you. Make sure you don't have to be over the top. You know, it's little advice like that that I can always lend to people, and I can always. I know one of the projects I was working with you on that I met you on. I was doing consulting for young director Jason Brewer, great first time director.
Yes.
He had one actor on his set, Matthew Simmons. I want to say his last name. Am I correct
That's
with his
correct.
last name?
That is
Okay,
correct.
I don't want to mispronounce his name on air. Um, um,
Who
First
plays
day I
Sean
met him,
O'Connor?
Sean O'Connor. Yeah, first day I met him, like he was so stiff, and you could tell he just started acting. And now here it is, like what, a year later, and I show up back on set,
He's
and
not the same.
he's not the same guy,
Absolutely not.
and I
He
feel.
played his character.
I mean, and I know he's gone through like the school, but when you see that metamorphosis and that change and that growth and that development with an actor, you feel almost like that parental pride, like that's my baby. I had something to do with that.
Absolutely.
And I mean, and I think it's amazing that, you know, where all of you have come from when I first met you, even Jason as a director, you know, he
Yes.
was all over the place, and he's coming to his own. He's finding his voice. And I think that's the key thing to the arts is find your language and find your voice and get out there and explore it. Be you, you know, tell your story the best you can.
And his project's been over a year and a half, and I think just together we have gotten so comfortable, right?
Absolutely.
So we've all perfected each other, and we respect each other's lane and each other's character, and it's just been awesome. So I agree with you on everything that you say about that. So tell me, as a writer, what made you begin to pick up a pen? How did that even happen?
Oh, I've been writing stories for as long as I can remember. I was always a storyteller. I got a lot of it. I base a lot of my stories. I grew up uh, primarily with my grandparents at the early stages of life, and my grandpa would tell like the best stories, and they would always make me laugh. And I'll be honest with you, he passed away before I was 8 or 9, and I don't remember any of his stories, but I still remember how they made me feel. Like I think about his stories now,
So
and they
is
make
he
me
just
chuckle.
talking, or did
He
he
would just
actually
tell
write?
stories. No, he
Okay.
would just tell me stories, and I think it started with that
Okay.
because I remember being little, and then every night I'd be like, "Papa, tell me a story," and he'd tell me a story, and then he would go, "Tell me a story." And then I would tell him a story back. It would be nowhere as good as him, but he'd laugh every time. It would always end with something uplifting. And I think that was,
The intro.
um, I think what makes someone, you can be a very creative artist and have a creative mind and think of stuff organically. I think people have that talent and that ability. I think as I've gotten older, I've only become a better writer because I have more life behind me to pull from. I've met more people. I've met different types of people from all walks of life. And when you blend that into your screenplays or your novels or your short stories, whatever you're working on, when you're blending those character traits into what you're creating through life experience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I had mentioned previously, I just finished the first draft of my novel. I'm doing rewrites and edits now. A lot of that stemmed from a screenplay that my best friend and I wrote in '99, like literally turn of the millennium, and we were in our 20, we were like 21, we were club kids. We were at the club every night and we were like the troublemakers. And it was a party movie. It was like in the vein of American Pie. We're both, we were a multiracial group. We loved American Pie, but it was by far probably, I don't know how everyone's going to take this on air, and I apologize, Nicky Nicole audience, but it was kind of like the whitest movie ever. But I felt as though like we do that too. And we party with all of you. Like, one of our best friends, Joe Kalinsky, he's passed on now. We hung out with him all the time. He was like this white, long-haired rocker dude. He was so funny and so, he was so sarcastic. Like those were our friends too. And I just never understand. In that point in time in cinema, this is kind of my journey into cinema, was we wanted to make movies that fit the truth about our life, because in film terms of people of color,
Mm-hmm.
it was we had Boys in the Hood and Juice and those movies to relate to, or Blood In, Blood Out, and we're like, but that's not us. Like we party, like we do fun things. We're out there, trying to mac to girls. That was the term back then. Look it up on Urban Dictionary. I'm sure it's there. But we were out there, macking to the fly ladies and trying to do our thing, and we were having a good time, just like everyone else in that age group. So the screenplay had sat there and never got produced. I was just getting into film, was working with this other studio, and it was years and years and years of, next movie is yours. Next movie we're going to do yours. And we just kept writing, and our movies never got made, but his did.
Mm.
And we kept helping him and helping him. And ours would never manifest in anything else. And I think we both got older. We got too old to play the characters. We had to act and direct. That was us. We had to do it all.
Yeah.
Which I've grown from as well. But we both got too old to play the characters, and the screenplay just sat there. But I had always had a fascination for those characters. It was a whole saga of movies that were all going to connect. And I called it my best friend, DeMarcus Young. Big plug to you, brother. Called him up and I go, I really want to turn this into a novel. Please give me the rights to this. He was like, you can have it. Just go for it. And he was like, I said, okay. So I took it, and it was, the saga spanned from like the 70s into present day is how I had it in my head. And I was like, where do I start? And I was like, let's start from the beginning, 1998. And, we're going to go back and forth. It's a really fun, heartfelt story. We kept the American Pie raunchy humor in it, like, because that's in essence the theme of the story.
We need that after COVID. We need
I
that humor
think
back.
so.
It's been so serious or sad, right? That we need that humor back into the movie theater. And it's really hard to even find a good movie right now because no one did filming during that time.
That's really funny you said that, because I was actually talking about that. I think we need to loosen up a little bit and just start having some fun and just say stuff, like just say what you want to say, tell your story, and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Just tell a good story. That's the key. Tell something that's going to reach out to people and matter.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I know if you have anything to do with it, I know it's going to be a hit.
oh, we can hope. And my manager feels the same way. Bring in the money, baby. So, but yeah, that's what I'm doing now. But it's been a journey. It's really been a journey. So for the last couple of years coming back into film.
So, Bradley, I know you had a dramatic experience at
Yeah.
one point in your time. If we are allowed to talk about that, if you're okay with giving me an exclusive on that.
I will be. It was definitely a traumatic experience. I think the lowest point in my and I will implement this as part of my career, because I do believe that every phase of your life is part of your journey, the ups and downs collectively. even if it had nothing to do with what you're doing in the process. I became a father in April 7th, 2005. I became a single parent 2 years later. Her mother and I had split up. I did all the fun stuff. Potty training a girl is not that easy when you're a guy, let me tell you.
And vice versa. I have a boy. Yeah, it was not easy.
So you feel me on that. I got you.
Yeah.
You're picking up what I'm laying down. So needless to say, it was 2009, late 2009. It was Christmas time. My daughter was taken by her mother. Now, mind you, this was after a point in time where I legit was never one of those parents with like, you're not going to see your mom. I made sure that she saw her mom all the time. Anytime her mom wanted to see her, she could. It was never one of those incidents. In fact, there was a point in time where her mother was really down on her luck and she lived with my mom. She paid rent to my mom for an extra room and she got to see her daughter even more.
Mhm.
So she was going to go home for Christmas in Pennsylvania. And she wanted to take my daughter with her. And I actually did tell her no. I said, I'd rather you not, because I had noticed that there was a lot missing from her room. Like she was packing stuff up, like she wasn't going to be coming back. I went to the
Signs.
judge it was technically her visitation. She did have her that holiday season. Went to the judge. The judge said it's her visitation. She can take her if she wants. And I said, she's going to keep her. I know what she's doing. And the judge said, to quote, well, if she does that, she'll have to answer to my court. Spoiler alert, she never did. The truth is she did. She kidnapped my daughter and she was missing for a year. At this point in time, talk about the loyalty in film. I had done film for a few years prior. Like I said, I quit because when I became a father. I became such a Debbie Downer on social media because I was just looking for my kid. I was always posting, the latest news article for the Waco Tribune Herald. As she was getting accepted into more and more missing child sites, I was posting those on the regular. And I watched my social media following dwindle lower and lower and lower. And these were people that I used to party with. When the party's going, when the bottles
Everybody
are
wants
popping,
in.
everyone's hopping.
Yeah.
But when times are down, you get to find out. I don't even know if this one girl will even hear this. Her name was Valerie Posas. I had met her back in '99. She went on to do the film Idiocracy with Mike Judge. She appeared in that. She credits me for discovering her. She was at an audition. She's a doctor now, but I don't even think she acts anymore. But she was the only actress who stayed my friend during that whole point in time, and even messaged me when I did recover my daughter. I never got the chance to tell her how much I appreciate that. So hopefully she'll hear this one day, because I really appreciate that from her. But I will say that during the time my daughter was missing for a year, when you have a missing child, you can't hold a job. It's a full-time job to recover your child because you're working with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Like my daughter had the missing child poster up, which was heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. And then having,
I couldn't imagine.
oh, it's unimaginable. I would never put it on anyone.
No,
I would never put it on a single living soul.
absolutely not.
Through this, eventually by the end of the year,
And then you're single at this point and no one's there to hold you, right?
my family did what they could. My mom held it together for as much as she could. But even then, we were never a wealthy family. Like we didn't have money growing up. That was one of the big drawbacks that you have in the film industry is people with money tend to be able to dedicate a little more time and energy to their passion, whereas we got to do it in between working our full-time jobs and navigating our life, which is what makes us freaking spectacular, in my opinion. People like us that get up every morning
The
and have
hustle's
that
well
drive.
respected, I think, and I think that's the growth, right? You
Oh,
want it so
completely.
more, so you're at it even more.
Yeah, and we take from and we value it more,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So it was about a year thanks to my wonderful attorney and everything like that. My attorney wound up dropping me because I went to the courthouse and protested because they would not sign a bench warrant to get my daughter. So I went to the courthouse and protested. Therefore, I got an email from my lawyer. My lawyer dropped me. So now here I am. But of course, this was after I blew through my life savings.
Right.
I had almost $100,000 saved up. This was like my future retirement, and it was gone. Like spent on lawyers and detective fees and all, like because I hired a PI. When this happens, people come out of the woodwork. There's a lot of scammers out there, and you're so desperate to recover your kid, you'll do anything. Got scammed twice. That was fun. Makes you feel stupid, like you're like, because how could anyone be so cruel to take advantage of a situation like that? You would think. Long story short, I had actually, by this point, I moved in with my mom. And my mom started using her money to cover expenses on this whole excursion. My mom wound up losing her house. And at this point, it caused a lot of family turmoil because I wasn't working. I wasn't, the whole world is telling me, just give up. You'll find her later. You can't, like you can't.
God.
I always had that little bit of hope, and it had been almost a year, and they're like, you're going to have to go get a job. And I was like, I can't, because literally the phone rings all the time and it's somebody with some information, and sure enough, I was gone. We were hitting November of 2010, and I was completely homeless. Like, I was officially homeless. My mom had lost her home, and when they moved away, I was not allowed to come with them. I was living in her former house, and I'll never forget one night. I had found a little chihuahua that day roaming the yard, little cute chihuahua, and I brought him in with me. We were going to be suffering together. And my mom would drop off a cheeseburger from Sonic every 2 days. She'd get like that little 2-bag.
Mm-hmm.
She'd drop a cheeseburger. I'd eat one day and save the next for the next day so I wouldn't die. And I'd share my little cheeseburger with the chihuahua. And then I remember one night, the chihuahua started barking at the front door. Now, mind you, there's no electricity. There's nothing in this house. And I had knew the back lock to the house didn't latch. And somebody was at the front door. And I yell, hello? Hello? And I saw the shadow pass by the glass. And all I could think was the dog turned to the back door. And I took off running. I could see the back door from the hallway, and I took off sprinting down the hall. And I drop kicked that door. Like, I literally just, because the door was coming open just slightly, and I drop kicked it with both legs. And I remember I laid on the floor with my feet propped up on the door, and I just cried. Because I was screaming. I was like, I'm calling the police. I'm calling the cops. They're on the way. Nikki, I didn't have a phone. Like, I was going to die. Like, whoever was, and they were pushing on the door. And I remember, I will tell you, honestly, I don't know what happened that night. I know I cried so hard that I blacked out. And when I woke up, it was morning. And everything was still there. I was alive.
So you never found out?
I passed out. I'm sure out of fear, but I know I had both my feet propped up on the door, just pushing as hard as I could. And I laid there all night. And I woke up in the morning, and, I was very fortunate. A couple of weeks later, a friend of mine who was living in Florida, she got me a Greyhound bus ticket. And I crashed with her for about 2 weeks in Clearwater, Florida.
Well, that's not a bad visit.
Yeah.
From where you came from,
Yeah.
from nowhere to the beach.
Yeah,
take
I
that.
actually went to the beach pretty often. I needed that cleanse after everything.
Absolutely.
The only thing I still owned, I actually tweeted this out, and it was liked by the actual director. It made me happy. But the only thing I had left that I owned that was mine was my Kevin Smith movies, like Clerks, Mallrats, Dogma. This is the only thing. I was like, I won't sell these. Like, I don't care how homeless I am. These are the only things in the world that I have. And I tweeted that out, and Kevin Smith liked it, and I was like, Kevin Smith knows who I am, you know. So, but yeah, he was definitely my film hero when I came into it. But fortunately, the only reason why I was in Florida for 2 weeks was because we got the call from my mom had called me one day, and my daughter was in the newspaper. They were doing a story about missing children.
And how long after was this from the day
This
that
was
she told
almost a year. Like we're hitting like in this November now. So my mom had called me. She says, Bo is in the newspaper. And I said, what's it talking about? She was like, they're covering missing children here in Waco. I said, well, give me the reporter. I'll call him and I'll see whether he wants to talk. At this point, I have no money. I'm out of resources. I'm out of hope. And I will tell you, anyone listening to this, once you lose hope, that's about the lowest point that anyone can be in their life. And you just get up in the morning and there's just no hope left. So I had called the reporter that Monday because it was a Sunday newspaper. Called the reporter that Monday. He goes, I was looking for you. I called your attorney. I was like, I don't have an attorney. She goes, yeah. He was like, yeah, she told me that she dropped you. I didn't have a number for you. I was going to call you before I even did the story.
Mm.
And I said, well, I'd like to talk. He goes, well, can you come into the office this week? I go, I'm in Florida, but I'll come in. Let me figure out how to get there. He was like, let me know when you get back. And the same girl paid for my bus ticket back. And there's nothing like the friends you make on a Greyhound. Like it's pretty great. Have you ever had the chance to ride a Greyhound?
I
Great.
have.
It's the greatest life experience. You make friends for life on that thing. It's like going to county. It's great. Um, so we make it back, and I call the reporter, Tommy Witherspoon. Still love that man. Still forever grateful. We had a meeting. I sat down with him, and of course, in case you haven't told by this interview, I can rant for a while. So I just went on this whole tangent, catching him up on the full year of what had happened. And he sat there. He just nodded his head the whole time I talked, and I cried at the Waco trip. And I'm just sitting there. I go, I don't know what to do. And he goes, I'm gonna write your story. I don't know how I'm going to write it, but I'm going to write it. And he's one of the top reporters for that newspaper. He goes, give me a little bit. And I left there. And of course I was like, well, nice try. I guess I'm going to go back to Florida because he don't give a shit. No one does. Excuse my language. And I sit there and I go back to my mom. My mom had got this little apartment for just the two of us. Since I was going to come back. And I spent the week moving in and helping her move in and getting everything situated. And it was right before Thanksgiving. He called me. It was the Thursday before Thanksgiving. It was the week before Thanksgiving. He calls me up. Tommy Witherspoon calls me and says, hey, so I decided the story I want to run. I don't want to do a missing child story. And I go, say what? He goes, I want to do a child recovery story. You're about to get a call in the next 10 minutes. I need you to answer the phone.
Oh my gosh.
And
I
then
just
sure
got
enough, the
chills.
phone beeps. Like it shows Pennsylvania. And he goes, I said, sir, he's calling me. He goes, I'm going to stay on the line, answer the call, take as long as you need. I'll be right here. And it was the police. They had her house surrounded. And the cop was like, Mr. Morris, we have your daughter right here. She's right here in front of us. We have, I won't say names, but they had them. It was my ex and her new husband. They had them right there. And and literally when he asked, what do you want us to do? I had said,
Bring her home.
can you put my daughter on the phone? I just wanted to hear her.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter gets on the phone, and I could hear her mom saying, here, it's your daddy. And it was just, she goes, hello? And she's like 5, And I go, baby, it's me. And she goes, hello? And I go, it's me, daddy. And she goes, daddy? because we hadn't talked in a year. But I called her every day, you know, like I would call her before she officially decided not she wasn't gonna give her back. We had talked on the phone. And I did this really bad donkey impression from Shrek. Like she loved my donkey voice, and I would do like the impression for her. I go, "Hey, Bo, it's me." You know, I do like it, you know, and it wasn't even a good impression. Not an impressionist, but I did the voice, and she giggled, and I remember her mom. I talked to her husband on the phone. Uh, I talked to my ex's husband. She goes, "Hello," and I said, yeah. And I was just so angry. You know, what do you do? He goes, "We're going to give her back to you. Please don't have us arrested," is what he asked me. And to which I replied, "I want you to answer one thing for me." And he goes, "What's that?" I go, "Why'd you do this?" And I swear I could not, I delve, like literally, fiction is my life. And I just don't think I could ever fathom these words, even on paper. He goes, "Because I thought we could get away with it." Like, just so he didn't say it maniacally or facetiously or mockingly. He just said, "Because I thought we could get away with it." Like, just so normal. And that shattered my image on, you know, humanity, on people. Like, it just, that's enough. You keep someone's kid away from them because you can just get away with it. So, needless to say, I return. Um, Fast forward a little bit.
Wait,
I
hold
tell the
up. So you
cops,
did not pursue charges?
no, because what the cops had told me, they said, "I'll tell you why." The cops gave me, he said, "Here's what we can do. We can take her in because she is withholding a child. However, your daughter will be taken into foster care until you get here."
And financially, you weren't able
My daughter
to.
was safe where
Right.
she was, and I was able to get there,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's still a 2-day drive. It's 16 hours no matter what.
Right.
By the way, got pulled over 3 times on the way to Pennsylvania. Did not get a single ticket. We told them the thing. They'd always call the cops. They had clearance. They said, "Slow down." And there was no slowing me down. But they said what they can do is they can let her stay there with them. He would put a cop at her back door and front door. No one was allowed to leave, virtually house arrest until I
Okay.
was able to get there. And we drove up there and we picked her up, and I got my daughter back. And on the way back, we stopped in Ohio, just outside of Pennsylvania. We stopped just on the other side of the border, and we went to. She loves bacon. I go, "You want some bacon?" And she was like, "Yeah." And she kept staring at me like, "You look familiar to me." And we're sitting there, and I smoked at the time, and I'm sitting there, and I go, "I'm gonna go outside and have a cigarette." And I said, "You want to come outside with me?" And she wanted to go outside with me, and she holds my hand, and we go out there. I light a cigarette, and she's looking around. There's snow everywhere, and she keeps staring up at me, like trying to figure out who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bear in mind, her mom has told her that she has a new dad and that I'm not her dad. This is what she's told me in the car on the way here. She's really scared. She's kind of like shaken up a little bit. And as she's staring up at me, when she was little, from the time she could walk, we would dance around the house. She would put her feet on top of mine, and we'd dance the songs that were on. And she's looking up at me, and she looks down at my feet, and one of her feet goes down on mine. And then she puts her other foot on my foot, and then she takes my hand. I flick that cigarette across the parking lot, and we start dancing in the parking lot out front of this restaurant.
Mm.
And she looks up at me, and she's like, "You're my daddy. You're my daddy." And she just hugs me real tight. It's like everything clicked with her. And
Really is a pursuit of happiness.
it truly, really is.
Wow.
So I spent the next few years being a dad. You know, I went back to school for a little while. I was gonna be a law major originally, and got back into took a semester off to do film, and that was like 6 years ago, and here I am. So, but that's my story.
Oh my gosh. I know it took everything for you to tell that story, and just hearing it makes me cry, and also happy at the end, right? Because it's a happy ending.
It's a true happy ending. It's a true happy ending. And people have asked me, they're like, well, when are you going to write that story? And I was like, I can't write it yet. I'm like, why can't you? I said, because it's not over. Like the story is not there. And while it is a happy ending, it's not the end yet.
Right.
I think we're still going and we're still growing. And I think this moment right here is just as part of my story as anything else has been.
Wow. I can't imagine going through something like that. And to see where you are today, from you being homeless to where you're at now.
Homeless to humble, right?
Right. Wow.
So yeah, you go. I got back into film, and
I
I
would have
kind.
never guessed that. I would have never known that had you not told your story.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know that any others truly know that story unless
You,
they
you,
go and look you up, right?
you're the first public person. I mean, it's on my. There's a summary of it on my IMDb page.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're the first person that I've actually told the story publicly to.
Thank you. Thank you so
It's my
much.
pleasure. Anything for Nicky Nicole.
Well, thank you, Bradley. One question before we let you
Sure.
go. Um, how did you know that? Where's your highlight of your movie life, of the writing life? When did you know that the highlight or your peak is peaking?
I think I'm still peaking. Um, how I knew that I was making waves was after we had filmed a documentary called Valhalla Club, and that got notoriety from Rolling Stone and Sports Illustrated. And to see my trailer on the Rolling Stone website was such a privilege. When I fell in, to be more concise on when I fell in love with film, to answer that, honey, I fall in love with it more every day. It's literally it's my love and my mistress. I hate it sometimes, and I hate it most times, but in the end, I always return home. I love what I do, and I love the people in it. I will often say, I want to quit film and just be a novelist because I had a lot of fun with my book. I have so much fun with that. But I tell people that, and people who really know me, they're like, you would never be happy with just as a novelist. You love to be in it too much, and they're probably right. But
You
I'll live
like
and
to see it
deny.
play out?
I like the people in it.
Yeah.
Overall,
So
it's
when you write, are you writing with the character already pictured?
oftentimes, I do a lot of writing workshops, and one thing that I always state at a writing workshop to other aspiring screenplay, writers, or screenwrites, or playwrights, or novelists, I always tell them, don't start a story until you know your ending. And when you do know your ending, just date it for a while. You don't have to marry it to the very end. At least
Good
you know where you're always
advice.
going. So when you write yourself into a hole, you're able to navigate back on point. So yeah, I always kind of go in with a preset mindset. I'm an outliner before I write, and I develop and plan. So
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here
it
today.
was an absolute pleasure.
And I look forward to doing many things more with you,
I'd love to
given the
work with you more,
opportunity.
and you can have me back as a guest anytime.
Thank you.
No
Our
problem.
Bradley Morris, please go look him up. If you can please share with us your social media.
Oh, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can also, and I'm also on Twitter. Um, Also, Royal Goblin Films is on all the social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think we have a Snapchat. I think we do. Rhonda runs that if we do. But yeah, also follow Rhonda Burnett. She's amazing as well. Couldn't do this without her. And make sure you follow Nicky Nicole because she's just as awesome as I am, probably a little bit more.
Thank you, Bradley, once again.
And
It's
thank
an
you for
honor.
having me.